What's up, Foxes? Here we are at Foxtrot Gameday in Austin, Texas. My backyard, not your backyard. OSG's backyard too. And he's all the way over there in Army. Everybody that's been traveling from Houston and living in Austin, man. We're back. But it's a big one. We're a big game here, but as always, we do have German Benitez. How's it going, sir? How's your trip?
It was great. It was a peaceful trip down I-10 and 71. We're happy to be here tonight. I hate to admit, but this is a beautiful day.
It is.
The breeze is blowing. It's going to be like it's a beautiful night for soccer tonight here in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, the weather is good. Of course, the shade definitely helps. All around, and it's going to be a cool game. But here we are back in Austin and with a mission, because obviously we have wasted a lot of opportunities with a lot of players back home, and it's time for us to get and we're going to go over and go out with the lineup that we have. And of course, the first one we're looking at compared to the last practice in Diego, Olsen is back in the starting lineup. Not as surprising as people think. If they've seen enough of Olsen and exactly what that is, players.
Having gotten that red card, Olsen starting with the big one.
Yes.
Lingard was building momentum and he blew it for himself.
Absolutely. And I hated that. I talked about it the last little time with Mark. He absolutely did not need to do that because he was going to be here playing.
He was probably going to start to
More like either risk it or he was going to be a big part of it.
Olsen has been given a second chance. Let's see what he does.
Oh, yes. And of course, the other big one was going to be Arthur starting. Back in the midfield. And we need to hit the top. What are your thoughts with Arthur?
No, I think it's much needed. He brings stability to the midfield and currently to the center backs. The Dynamo are boasting 2 back-to-back clean sheets. With Arthur back, they look to make them 3 games in a row in MLS play. So that's big.
Yes, Austin is really having issues with scoring. They only have 1 game to play so far this season. And this is a prime opportunity for Houston to settle things down in the midfield, get a goal, hopefully 2. But it's a little bit weird to tell this team. But at the end of the day, it's all about performing at your best. Especially in a fairly new rivalry against Austin, you gotta set the ball.
And we'll see what happens, but I love this Arthur starting because he's more defensive. His teammate is allowed to. So I'm curious to see Jack McGlynn come in half an hour. You know how the Dynamo plays script? 60 minutes or 45 minutes. I like when Ache goes forward and he's starting to. You see that dynamic in the first half while they work together.
Yes, I fully expect Jack McGlynn to have a role in this game. I expect him to get the second half if everything goes right. And of course, the other one that I have to keep in mind is the back line. Of course, you kind of just know that when everything was doing back. And now is slotted a little bit back, so kind of doing it again. And I think he's starting. The other side was going to be a little bit about the team approach. Of course, you do have Vine starting as well, which is good.
Yes.
And Pacheco back in the starting lineup still, which is good to see. But the main issue is always the fact that they have to be consistent with the defense. Right. It's tricky because it's good to be able to go on injuries, suspensions, but honestly, what are you expecting for the back line?
No, it's interesting. Based on the lineup, it looks like they're going back to that back 3. So these clean sheets back-to-back have been playing with a 4-4-2. So I'm interested to see how we do tonight. Now, that is how he comes back. Diadié comes back. Comes back as a veteran leader. We know that he's going to be so I'll be keeping an eye on him.
Definitely. And it's going to be an interesting first half. I feel like the first half is going to establish which team is going to keep possession. I can tell right away that Austin is going to be doing something similar to what San Diego did.
talked about it already. Let's hope they keep it going tonight. They should.
Yes, and they have to. And yeah, honestly, what you say your predictions are and your final thoughts on the first half?
You know, I want to say something like 3-0, 3-1. We've only scored 1 goal in the past 2 games. That's maybe the first one. Maybe with this back and with wide, maybe that can lead to more scoring opportunities. I'm still hoping for a 3-0. 3-0. Like a commanding, tie everything together for Ben Olsen. We've been kind of complaining with our clean sheets, but you only score 1. Not much attacking. Hopefully it all comes together tonight. What better venue, what better time for it to come better.
Yeah, and like I said initially, they have to get the flag down, settle things down, and control the game as much as possible. And I did have my predictions in the last time, but I really want to like Dynamo.
Okay.
And also because, like you said, we might have some issues scoring here and there.
Yeah. Maybe I'm too optimistic.
Yeah.
Pero,
That's what it is.
yeah.
No, yeah.
I can hear them all the way across from the stadium.
No, yeah, guys. The game's about to start. And we'll be back here for your halftime recap. And as always, from pregame to postgame, we're going to be here covering Dynamo all the way. So stay tuned, y'all.
Mirta Uzuni returns from injury paired with Christian Ramirez as Andre Linger is suspended for the evening. What about visiting Houston? 31-year-old Brazilian Guilherme. And if Austin is to get back into playoff contention, who must lead the way? They play tonight before what is expected to be the 93rd consecutive sellout crowd for an Austin FC game since Q2 Stadium opened its doors. Impressive Argentine Agustin Resch, who played college soccer at Seton Hall, part of the center-back tandem with the Dane Eric Sviatchenko tonight. He's opened some eyes, and he's earned a 3rd MLS start tonight, Resch, and I stress earn based on our conversation with Ben Olsen. Here's Ramirez to work this across. Laid off by Uzuni. Now Nelson. Jaden Nelson going for goal! Off the post and in! The Canadian World Cup hopeful opens the scoring. Austin FC with the big start tonight. They lead 1-0.
The way they go from the right-hand side to the left-hand side, but it's really intelligent from Nelson because he's just staying out of the eye shot of Andrade. So when he gets the ball, he knows exactly what he wants to do. He just takes this touch inside. Now the whole of the goal opens up and Bond's got absolutely no chance. But I love the interchange because they switch the play from right to left, and because of that, Houston end up lopsided. That gives the time and space for Nelson to just then tuck inside, and it's an absolutely shot of perfection because, as you'll see here, comes off that inside post. Gives Bond absolutely no chance whatsoever.
First time Houston's conceded now in a 3-match. Rosales floats this ahead. Uzuni, this is brought down. Christian Ramirez shoots. There's Bond with the big response, a save.
Saw the counter, but you just see the break here. Really good ball from Ramirez. A lovely run as well from Uzuni. Plays in his centre forward partner Ramirez, and it's a wonderful strike.
And here comes Houston looking to equalize. Guilherme to work this across, and a shot right into the waiting arms. This interesting pocket of time in his career, isn't he, the 35-year-old? Weren't sure what his role would be. This is Bogusz, and again they go long. Uzuni to track this down. Defended by Resch. Mirta Uzuni continues on, and a shot off the post, nearly doubling the lead. He gets a second kick at it, and it goes wide.
This touch here, he sees that Resch is just out of the equation, so he's happy to take it wide and then isolate Resch, and he does it exceptionally well. Lovely bit of skill, and then he just gives himself an angle where he can get the strike. The post comes to the rescue for Houston, then you're expecting the follow-up. He's not able to benefit from that either, but he's been really lively, Uzuni. He gets past Resch there, takes the strike, hits the post, and then he actually
play it in on the throw. Facu Torres directing traffic, gives this to Rosales, goes for goal. Nothing that bothers Jonathan Bond. Hector Herrera to play this ball in. There's an option here, taken by Vines, and a shot that stopped.
You just have to be mindful, because if it's hit with power through there, then it can be difficult, but the goalkeeper needs to be able to see.
They lean, and the shot takes a deflection, and it's in! The fortunate bounce. Uzuni and Austin to make it a 2-0 game.
Having to do its job. Wall doesn't necessarily do its job in this situation. You're facing it, turns to the side, that opens up the gap in the wall, creates the deflection, ends up in the back of the net. You can't really see it from there. You just have to be brave in those scenarios. You have to be very, very brave, because a couple of players turn side on, and when that happens, you open up.
All right, Dynamo fans, here we are, halftime in Austin. Austin leading 2-0, man. I have a lot in my mind right now, but I want to hear from you first.
I was way wrong. First to start off the formation, we're going back with the 4-4-2, but it has not gone our way tonight. And then I might be right about the scoreline, just the wrong team I picked. Halftime score of 2-0 here in Austin. You could say unlucky, but not really, in my opinion. Luck favors those who look for it.
Yep.
In life too, not just in soccer. And Austin FC, it feels to me, you correct me, first of all, this first half flew by.
Yes.
But it feels to me like the Dynamo are okay receiving the pressure, just inviting the pressure. They're okay with that, and they're happy countering. We had a couple counters that could have led to something dangerous, but they didn't. Felipe Andrade got beat one-on-one. Honestly, you tip off your cap. That was a tremendous finish.
Yep.
The goal scorer got injured later in the match. And then at the end of the first half, a free kick that hit, I believe it was Eric Zmianchenko. Unlucky, but really Arthur with a silly foul at the top of the edge of the box that you don't expect them to make that foul, you know. Unlucky, but really not really, because Austin feels like we spent the entire half watching Austin kind of penetrate through the Dynamo half of the pitch, you know. I don't know where the Dynamo go from here, Andrés. They need to find the first goal just to kind of get back in it, and I think those first 15 minutes in that second half is crucial. I don't know what modification. If Jack is available, I'm bringing him on right now. You throw everything now. Forget people that are tired. You throw everything on the pitch right now.
You're going to have to go through your options at this point, because you have to get back into this game and not necessarily thinking about like what to do tactically still. Granted, it's pretty important to consider the important tactics that you have to deploy against Austin, but like you said, we have to get back into this game by any means necessary, because they improved slowly in the first half, but they are unlucky because they find themselves in this situation, especially at the start of the first half, because the first 15 minutes it was essentially all Austin.
Yes.
Houston then started to move forward a little bit, started to connect the passes in the attack, and started getting the shots on goal. Also, the shots on goal haven't been that. They haven't really tested the keeper. They went straight to the keeper, or they were out of bounds. And
long shots, which was good to see for the Dynamo.
Finally.
Yes.
A far shots, like a far range shots,
and
of course.
I do appreciate. I think it was Hector that shot one, but I do appreciate at least Hector trying to push it forward. It just feels like the attack is too stagnant.
Yes.
Only Guillermo is moving around the pitch. Everybody else, I'm watching them. Is anybody making runs? Nobody's making runs. They're just standing still.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm worried.
And I've seen Bogusz making those runs on the left side still, and most of his opportunities, he's trying to connect to somebody else, like that's like in the middle or inside, and it's just like really missing the mark at the points. He did make a couple runs, he did make a couple shots on goal, but they missed right at the keeper.
If the Dynamo are gonna get in this set pieces, they gotta take advantage of these set pieces. I don't think they come back in this thing if they do with soccer. They got to take it set pieces, a PK. But the way they're playing right now, I don't know where it's coming from. We got to see some changes at halftime or the 60th minute, you know.
Yes.
If Jack is anywhere near, like, playing, I bring him on. I need some offense right now. Somebody that can take the ball away from Guilherme. I need Guilherme making runs, not being my distributor.
Yes, and this is the type of game that I wanted to see Linger play. Since of course he's suspended, so we won't be able to see him tonight.
Yeah.
But you kind of said already, Jack McGlynn is definitely one of those pieces that can definitely open up the game a little bit if he's played up front. And honestly, like if we're able to reduce the workload from Guilherme, because like it feels like Guilherme is getting double teamed every single time or triple team.
Yeah.
They have to find openings.
Yes.
And not really. That's essentially what I'm looking for in the second half. Like he's gonna have to go all out, like from the first minute at this point. What are your final thoughts for the second half before we go?
Yeah. It's a party here, and I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it. We need to ruin their party, dude.
Yes.
And I don't know where, but it needs to happen.
There has to be a disruption more than anything. And
Right.
that's what the team needs to do right now. But yeah, the second half is about to begin. Let's blow the party, please. But yeah, guys.
All I can do is throw a fake smile for y'all and throw the H's, man, because this team has me upset right now.
Yeah, all of us, man. All of us.
Make the drive for this shit, you know? We'll be here for post-game thoughts.
Yes. I will be back.
It'll start out with a free kick, and let's see if this will be McGlynn's first action of the night. Guilherme is the other choice. It is. Guilherme punched away by Stuvers. 10 goals last season, led the club, seeking his first this year. Shot from distance and a rocket. Stuver went up, got a piece of it.
Stuver, just watch the strike from Guilherme. So much pace on it. Probably going to go just under the crossbar as well.
Bogusz towards goal. That's off the top netting. Guilherme for the second straight game held in check. Austin FC says goodbye to a 7-match win.
Alright guys, we are back here at Q2 Stadium. After the game, we got the unified Houston Dynamo against unified Austin FC playing, and Houston is actually winning 2-1. And that's 2 goals that we didn't score against Austin because we lost 2-0. And that was a second half. I'm gonna start with you, man, because I got a lot of feelings to vent right now.
First of all, look at this breeze. Your air is going up in the air.
Yes.
God, I wish Shell was open like this.
Yeah, it's cool, yeah.
But no, man, that was disappointing, Andres.
Yep.
Just like we ended the halftime segment, I drove for this uninspiring performance. This is disappointing. Very, very disappointing.
Extremely, man. And honestly, I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for Dynamo Fan TV because they make the drive here. I feel bad for the fans that came over.
Yes.
And everybody that has been believing in the project, because that second half didn't prove us much, man. Like I was hoping, like I said early on before the game, like the second half started, they had to go there and prove themselves, and they just didn't do enough, because you could tell like they were like playing on new ideas. Like Austin definitely like held back more and more into the game because they already had the lead, but still like Houston didn't provide any type of danger whatsoever in the second half, and I was just extremely disappointed because they absolutely did not do anything, and I was really pissed off about that.
The most dangerous they looked was the last 10 minutes of the game, because Austin was happy with the 2-0 score. They were happy just defending the scoreline at that moment. Good news, Jack McGlynn is back on the pitch. He looked good. There were times where I was asking myself, who's playing where?
Yeah.
I asked you like 3 times during that second half, like, who's playing? You know, who came out? You know, trying to figure out this scheme. There's nothing to figure out. 4 games in 2 weeks. They're just trying to make it work. I asked Ben, we just got out at the press conference. I asked Ben about Agustin Resch. Straight up told me he's tired. Yeah, he's tired. Took him out at half. There was one more thought. Oh, yes. Same old scenario about slow starts on the road. And I asked him about it. And he kind of challenged his players. Like, I challenged the players and I challenged myself. We gotta find like some juice or like
Inspiration.
It's all psychological. Okay, cool. Fix that. I also asked him, because we talked about it in the press box. To me, at times, it seemed that everything was stagnant, attacking-wise. It was stagnant. People were standing, and Guillermo was just running around with the ball, essentially. And Ben called it toothless in attack. And I asked him, elaborate some more, because to me, just the eye test, I told him, forget the stats, forget the iPad. The eye test just looked like it was stagnant.
It was.
And he's like, I don't disagree with you. We got to fix that. There's some new connections that we got to, that are not there yet, pero we have to do tweaks in the final third. He said he's not worried because they're scoring goals. I didn't want to get in an argument with the man, but I would argue that mostly because of individual talent, like individual plays, rather than a team build-up goal. Yeah, uninspiring performance, Andres. I'm kind of disappointed. It sucks having to drive back like this, you know.
No, extremely uninspiring. Extremely disappointed, like you said. Really, just I get for sure the fitness issue, because we're
that's
going
legit.
back to back games, and it's.
I hate to use it as an excuse, but it's legit. It's valid. It's valid.
I was gonna say the same thing, because like it's definitely easy for us to just to complain about it, because we've seen the team like several times like over the years, and there's definitely aspects we don't understand when it comes to like what's going on from the inside. But at the same time, they still have to find a balance just to get all the players to succeed at the same time, and. It's really disappointing, because we've been in positions before at the start of the season where the team is not cohesive enough, or they haven't found the type of chemistry to just succeed wherever they go, and it's tough. I'll give them that.
And I want to bring up a new topic, and I have to bring it up because I tweeted my quotes from the press conference, and literally I never had this much interaction on a tweet before. Every freaking response to that was Ponce.
Yeah.
I've been a Ponce defender. I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong. Bro, I'm human. And I think his best attribute is heading the ball, like jumping in the air, heading the ball. We don't see that enough. Yeah. And he looks lost. And he comes back to kind of do a short pass when in reality he should be making a run, trying to get a through ball. We talked about it in the opener. If Lingard didn't get that red, he probably starts tonight.
Yep.
But, okay, Lingard wasn't available tonight. People want to bench Ponce. Marquinhos
came very late in the second half.
Yeah. But just Ponce, man. Tell me about Ponce, because that's the hot topic on Dynamo Twitter right now.
He comes up in every Noodle Time episode, because for all the wrong reasons.
I hate that for him, but at some point, that contract comes with some expectations.
Yes, and he's still gonna be around the club until next year, and it's just extremely disappointing that we are investing so many resources into a player that we need him to succeed at all times, and I've said it before and I'm gonna say it again. Like it's a combination of several factors, because it's definitely on him, because he has found himself in good positions that he has not converted, and it's on the coaching staff, because he is like placed in a position where he's not able to succeed, because as much support as he has, like every single time he goes out there, he looks like he has like three players on top of him, or like he's not able to find that space to finish.
Right.
And it sucks, but at the same time, like it's their responsibility and his responsibility to just to keep working and find something that works.
And I'm gonna keep scratching the surface on this and give it to you deeper to touch on Noodle Time. Bogusz is kind of, in my opinion, lucky that Ponce is not delivering, because I mean, yes, he scored, but you know, what do you think of him? Like, there's times where I'm like, he's not involved.
Yeah, I feel like it's more so because Bogusz just got here this season and Ponce has already
so you're giving him a pass early in the season.
For now,
okay,
yes.
okay, that's fair.
But I see what you're saying though, because like Bogusz has been like he has not been delivering as much as we were hoping for.
And that's not even where I'm going.
Yeah.
Where I'm going, so you can talk about it on Noodle Time with Mark, is the easy blame is always going to be the player and the coach. That's why it sucks being a coach and a player. You know, you get the criticism.
Yeah.
What about Pat Onstad?
Like
what about Pat Onstad?
Yeah.
There's some blame that needs to go there too. If I'm a GM, I hire a coach because I believe in his system, quote unquote, or his abilities. And if I'm a good GM, I'm gonna find players that fit his specific system. I say Pat Onstad deserves the blame because there should have been consideration for letting Ben go at the end of last year, given the season. He decided to stick with his guy. So this year, there's some pressure for both of them to deliver.
everybody, yeah.
Everybody. And Guillermo was a good signing. I give him that. But, like, it's early in the season to panic. Pero I believe that Pat deserves some blame too, because two of their biggest signings, they people say Ted doesn't spend. Ted put up the money twice.
Yeah.
And they did not deliver so far. So that's another conversation for another time.
And it's definitely something that we brought up before the season started, especially like around the preseason talk, because we knew that a lot of focus is going to be on Ben Olsen and also Pat Onstad, because we've already missed playoffs, and I believe that if we're not able to get into that expectation to make playoffs and just to be competitive, it's going to be a problem, and I feel like one of them is going to go, or both. But yeah, man. You know, man, I'm tired. I fell asleep at the press box in the second half because the game was just like that. Honestly, like it really sucked. But honestly, like we move on. Not much we can do now.
Yeah. So what's next for the Dynamo?
Open Cup next week against Louisville City back home in Houston.
So it's another 2 week.
Yes.
It's another 2 games per week type thing.
Yes. Because
Open Cup and Colorado.
Yes.
Thankfully, both at home.
Yes.
Thankfully. But it's another squad rotation, so expect a funky lineup.
Yeah, man, everybody's tired, man. I get that, but yeah, we just gotta keep going. That Open Cup run is still there, man. We just gotta beat Louisville because it's
shit. At this point, just focus on the Open Cup, dude.
Yeah, man. Like I mean, get us to Conca Champions that way, man. That'll be the dream, honestly. But yeah, guys. As always, we are
here from the Q2. Beautiful. I fucking hate how beautiful this place is, dude.
No, yeah, and of course, as always, we do have the post-game coverage coming up as well. We do have a press conference and also exclusive mix of interviews with Sam Vines and Diadié Samassékou. And yeah, you guys stay tuned for that. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. And stay noodle, hold it down, hit your sub as always. Here we go again.
Hey, Ben, unfortunate result, but say you had through his first start, you had Jack from back for the mix to you. How good is that for you?
It's nice to get Jack back for sure. It was a long week for them, and it was a long week for us. And my take on the game is, for 3/4 of the game we were pretty good, and we played the game that we wanted to play. But the first, again, kind of quarter, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, they came with a lot of energy. They were a little bit more desperate in how they were going about the game. And we fell back into that early lead or losing, or taking in 2 goals early for an away game. And then, again, same story, we're chasing it. So, we got to learn it. We learned it in Colorado, and we learned it in Dallas, and we got back to that a little bit, which is disappointing, and giving up leads early, and then chasing the game. But there was some good stuff. Still a little toothless in the attack, and I think we have to be a little more patient and balanced. And figure out kind of the final third. But it's okay. If you asked me 10 days ago, we'd get, we have 6 points in this week, going 2 away and then, 1 home. We may sign on for that. So that's a good thing that we're picking up points, but this was a little step backwards.
Two, 1 sec, guys.
It's working here.
Can you hear me?
We're gonna switch real quick camera here. We're just gonna go from this camera because I know the audio will work there. We're switching camera here, guys. Go right ahead. Audio's working now.
Yeah, then. So after a couple of the games, Oli got conceded, and how does it define the game and this consistency in the team? Where does that inconsistency come from?
The inconsistency of what? Giving up early goals? Well, it wasn't consistent the last 2 games. So, but the games, 2 games before that, so it happens. You're going to give up early goals, especially on the road with the energy. We have to find the right recipe of being compact, but also right on that edge and provoking and combative and making sure we weather these storms that come, in a typical away game in the MLS. And so we'll keep looking at that. But the couple road games haven't been that great in the starts, and that's cost us.
And then Solity get 50% possession for the first time this season, really control the ball.
It doesn't mean it means 0.
How do you think the team can really create more chances and how much red?
Chances. Not a lot. A lot of attacks, but not a lot of clear chances, and more clinical. A lot of block shots from them, a lot of block crosses from them. So being more clinical once we arrive into 20 yards and below, I think we got there plenty. It just the quality wasn't there on the day, or the numbers weren't there. And I give them some credit. They defended very well. They're always been a pretty good box defending team, and you have to be clinical and you have to make some real plays. The set piece pisses me off. It starts in a throw in, and the ball goes through a wall, which is unacceptable. And we've done a pretty good job with that stuff. So again, these little reminders come into play where you hope at some point they're not reminders, and we learn from some of these things that are pivotal and cost you games.
Then just wanted to ask you about performances from a couple of your center backs. Eric Sviatchenko saw some minutes tonight. Could see him on the pitch, and then subbed off at halftime. Agustin Resch.
Resch is tired. Yeah, lip leggy, and he's a big guy, and he's young, and he's played a lot of minutes for us. And the plan was to kind of share the minutes with those two. We're fit on center backs, and he hung in there, but it was definitely a day where he looked like this was
recording stopped.
He put a lot of minutes in, and this was maybe a little much for him. So Tundra came in and gave us a good shift, and I thought, most of the subs did okay. I don't know if anybody had a great game. Yeah. A lot of okay games, and thought Eric played pretty well. It was his first game in a bit. Came in, did a job.
And like you mentioned earlier, learned it in various trips this season, the slow start on the road, and I know fatigue is one of them, but what other factors could contribute to that slow start or invited in Austin FC to your box?
I don't know. To me, it's mentality. It's like you gotta 100 minutes a week, or again, you gotta summon something. You gotta summon the best of yourself. Mm-hmm. And that's the responsibility that these players have and that I have. And taking off 15 minutes and not being on that edge is costing us. Yeah. And that's really disappointing. And I gotta find the recipe. and maybe it's the personnel on the road maybe has to change. But again, I don't want to be too dramatic about this. We gave up a goal, and then the set piece was pretty poor. Stepping back, pulling back. Again, 6 points in a week is still pretty good with 2 away games. And if I do think we're learning, we're still learning about this group. And today we learned a little bit more about some of the depth guys and a little bit of a reminder on how to go about the first 15 minutes.
And my last one is just want to ask you to elaborate more on Toothless in attack, because just the eye test to me, it feels very stagnant. It feels like Guilherme is on the ball trying to create something on his own, but there's no collaboration. Everybody's stagnant. Like, well,
it's hard to break down low pressure once you're down 2-0, right? So,
Right.
I would say, I don't disagree with you in that, it's not as cohesive as we need it to be. But I would say we got into, very dangerous spots enough tonight to score a few goals. So I don't worry about the attack necessarily. I think we do need some tweaks and a little bit more discipline and positional play, to try to harp on some a little more cohesion in that, and rather than again Guilherme in particular, where he finds himself and where he shows up, where he's most dangerous, right? Coming back sometimes into the 8 and 6 when we have passers there, we got guys that can break down. We want him higher up the field, so that's something we certainly need to work on. In some of these relationships, as we change structures, is still not there, but again, we're still scoring a lot more goals than we did last year at this point.
right.
And I still think we're much more dangerous in the attack.
Alex, Prada, go ahead.
Coach, good evening. First of all, I hope you can hear me, Coach.
I got you.
Yes, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being with us, Coach. And I might have missed this. I apologize ahead of time if you already discussed. What was the thinking in shifting Antonio Carlos not starting, giving Resch the start? And look, I know you're managing game after game now, so it was not enough games now, too many games. I imagine you discussed Antonio Carlos not starting clearly.
Yeah, the plan was to share, and Eric's 90 minutes ready, and in these 3 weeks, 3 game weeks, you have to make some tough decisions sometimes, Alex. And then, we work on a lot of time spent with data scientists and also, the data, but also history of guys that have done this and gotten injured. And so, you sometimes have to make those types of tough decisions. And again, Resch hung in there for a half. Was he perfect? No, but the plan was always kind of to give those 2 minutes, and Eric being 90 minutes, he was always planned to play that. So, he's not a spring chicken either. Some of these guys, we can't burn them out.
Coach, I know you rarely speak negatively of your players. I don't want to use the word confidence yet. It's still early, relatively speaking. Are you having some players that you have less confidence in? I'm not going to mention names. You've never been that kind of coach. Are there some players that maybe need to build their confidence, or for you to identify that, hey, you guys got to give us a little bit more? Is it that time yet?
Give the players a little bit more.
Right, or maybe you don't have confidence in some players at this point, or again, I know you're going to.
Why, Alex? Why is the sky falling through right now? Again,
No,
we just came.
I don't believe it, Coach.
No, but here's my point: is like,
Yes, sir.
we just came off of 2 shutouts, and gotten some points, and again, we lost to Austin away. It's a good team. I think they were very, very desperate, and I think they really needed this one. It was a talented team, and it wasn't our best performance. But by and large, have I lost confidence in the players that I have that have been here all week and have just won 3 games in a row? No. But are we where we need to be? No. We need to work, man. We need to work. We need to get back to some things and use this tape and step back emotionally and look at this thing on Sunday and Monday and take a look at where we can get better and learn from this. So this is the process, Alex. This is how we roll. And some guys had some okay games. Some guys probably didn't have the greatest games, and some had good games. That's not a recipe for success in an away game. You need everybody to show up and be at a high level. But these 3-game weeks are tricky, and sometimes you get some leggy guys. Sometimes it's not perfect, and it becomes about this and this. And they had a little bit of this and this more than us from the get-go of that game, and I thought we chased it.
I get that, Coach, and again, I'm with you.
I'm not busting your chops, Alex. You can hit me, man. Don't. Yeah, it's fine with me, man. Come at me.
No, I'm with you. How about Jack being back? Certainly something positive. It was good to get him back in, and that he fulfill his role as you expected.
It was good to get him 30 minutes. Artie was always coming out. You get another guy that's bringing back some, his fitness levels. And Jack, it was good to get him 30 minutes, and he looked like himself. Obviously a high-level soccer player and a guy that's going to play a part in this as we move forward.
The last one, Coach, and I believe I quote you from early today. You were pissed off by the free kick, by the dead ball situation. How do you fix that? Obviously, is it training? Is it rehearsing? Is it everybody being?
Well, we have trained it. We have trained it, and we watched the film that we talk about these things, and we were just we weren't in that moment. A wall. Again, that's another example of. These are things you have to take care of. These are details that have to be taken care of if we're going to go to where we want to go.
Hey, Jack, welcome back. How was it with the injury on the back?
Yeah, it's really good to be back, man. Being injured is probably the worst thing that could happen to you. So to be back out there and to try to help the guys, it's a great feeling.
And then you will have time, right? Many games coming up. Does that make you happy that the chances are there?
Yeah, of course. I think obviously dropping points like this sucks. So it's great to have another game so quick. And I think for me personally, to get these games, to get back full fitness and try to make a push for the World Cup team is what I want to do.
And then lastly, I'll say, I feel like we've seen you many times. The fans. How was it to see them today?
Yeah, the fans are always amazing when we come here. You see kind of a sea of orange every time you step on the field. So we heard them all game, and it sucks we couldn't get a result for them, but hopefully next time we will.
Hey, yeah. So, yeah. And Jack, it's good to see you out there, and talk about how frustrating it was. Questionable day to day. I'm ready. No, I'm not. Walk us through that process, especially given the injuries the team had. They could have used you the past couple of games, but how was that process? I think I'm ready. Who tells you though, or your own body tells tell us more about that.
Yeah, it sucks because you wake up in the morning like, oh, I feel good, and then you try something and it's maybe not. I can't play this week, so it sucked that I had to miss that many games. It felt like it was 5 months, but it was only 3.5 weeks. So just because the amount of games you had, but being injured, it sucks both physically and mentally. You want to be out there helping your guys and doing what you love. So to be back, it's a great feeling, and I hope I keep up with my team because I know what I'm capable of.
Is it as simple as like, oh, I reached all the way out. Oh, I feel good. I didn't feel anything. Like I'm ready to go back.
No, it's more building up. Like, so I've been kind of on the field for about like a week now, just kind of building up fitness, getting strength back in my legs. So it's been a big shout out to the medical team for helping back.
Good deal. And when you went out, y'all were playing more of a 3 in the back, with wing backs. You come back and you find yourself in this 4-4-2. How do you like that system, and where do you see yourself? Because you play all over the pitch, and I was like, Jack's here, and then next thing I know, you're down here. Where do you see yourself playing that 4-4-2?
Yeah, kind of anywhere. I think I'm a guy who's got the ability to float and just get on the ball because I can make things happen when I have it. So I think for me, it's just finding spaces. I think taking what the opposition gives you and finding those spaces where I can break them down. Like tonight, I was probably right back at one point and then left winger at one point. So like I was just kind of trying to break them down. I think we did a good job of that in the second half when I came on. Just unfortunate that we didn't score, so I hope to keep that going.
Do you like being like on the wing or more of central?
Right in the ball is I want to be. Hell yeah. Thank you. Alex Parra?
Jack, first of all, good evening, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Great, Jack. It's great to have you back. If you don't mind, let's talk about Austin tonight. What was missing? Coach clearly, in his comments, said that the team just wasn't quite as sharp. Obviously, giving up an early goal, the lapse on the wall for the free kick. But what from your perspective, Jack, was missing tonight?
Yeah, I just don't think we came out with the right intensity. I think from the start that they were kind of jumping on us and pushing the tempo, and I think that's what we have to do, especially in an away game in a derby, you know. Coming off 2 good wins, I think we should have started the game a lot better, and that's probably why we lost this game, because they scored 2 early goals, one off a free kick and one early goal that we could prevent if you just come out a bit quicker.
You talked about being away, what seemed like months, but it was weeks. You already talked to us about your rehab. Catching a team is always difficult, right, Anil? Any athlete injuries can be very frustrating. How did you deal with that relative to also, I don't want to use this word, but the World Cup being so close? Does that play into maybe getting back a little too early, maybe giving you more motivation? Can you give us that context, please?
Yeah, it's definitely pushing me to get back earlier than I should. I think to try to do everything I can. My whole day now has been recovery, trying to fix the issue. So definitely pushing a lot more than I should. And the medical staff gets a little mad at me because I know it's around the corner. So that's my main focus and my dream to be there. So I'm going to do everything I can to do so.
And lastly, Jack, obviously now there's many games. So have a midweek game again, continuing on the way to the World Cup. How does the team better end this first phase? Coach Olsen has talked about, you know what, we'll have a break, even a whole new preseason, kind of resetting for the second half of the season. Are there some stated goals that you have as a team between now and that break?
I think for us, the main thing is to start games better. I think the whole year we give up an early goal and then behind in almost every game. So I think that's our main focus. And if we do that, we've shown the ability to score goals. We're a talented team and we could break teams down. So we kind of keep shooting ourselves in the foot. And if we stop doing that, we're going to be in a really good place.
Congratulations on your first start for the team, right, if I'm not mistaken. Just what did you guys learn out there tonight?
Yeah, it's a difficult night, you know, away from home. You know, Austin don't have many wins this season, so I think it's just a difficult game away. You know, all games away in the MLS are difficult, so I think we started a little slow. They capitalized on two chances, and you know, we're chasing the game, you know, after 15, 20 minutes. So I thought, you know, we were up for the fight, but obviously the result didn't go the way we wanted it to.
A few appearances from yourself, but just describe your game for us.
Yeah, you know, I like to push. I like to join the attack and, you know, help the team any way I can. You know, I'm you know, getting into the stride. You know, trying to get minutes where I can. So, you know, working as hard as I can to get fit and be ready for whatever games come my way.
Thank you.
Any takeaways going into the next game? Of course, there's a very crowded schedule, particularly the Open Cup game coming up as well. Like any particular adjustments you'd like to make with your game or the team?
Yeah, I mean, we just have to be ready for the fight. You know, every game's going to be difficult. Louisville, you know, it's a good team in the USL. They've been good for the past few years. It's going to be a difficult game. You know, we have home and away games coming up, so we just have to be ready for the fight.
Thank you.
Unfortunate result tonight. Just talk to us through about this game.
Yeah, we are really disappointed. We didn't start the game as we wanted. We conceded two goals. Yeah, I think we need to start the games better. That's frustrating because if you see in all, you know, like they were not better than us. We had chances to score, we didn't score. We just need to keep working. And yeah, we will have some games that, you know, you come and you don't do the right things and you don't win. And we just hope that this kind of night will not happen often.
What do you think was different from tonight compared to Wednesday?
Yeah, I think like we started the other games differently, with maybe like more like tactically setting back. Today we try to press a bit, but still I think we play well. But the differences were in both boxes. They scored 2 goals, we didn't score.
How do you kind of just shake this loss off and then go, in a positive note to Wednesday for the Open Cup?
Yeah, it's a part of the job. We got a lot of games. There is no time to put the head down. We won the last 2 games. We lost this one. We go with the same energy in the next one. Open Cup, we know is important. We want to go forward. We want to go through to the 16. And yeah, we will rest and we go again on Wednesday.
You came in the second half, and it looked like the game balanced out very defensively for Houston, but unfortunately not enough to make a difference. What would you say were your takeaways for this game heading into an Open Cup?
I mean, also like if you are losing 2-0, of course you have to play forward, and for the other teams, it's normal that they maybe back up a bit. But as I said, like we will look at the game. Right now, like what we know that we need to start better the games. The first 15-20 minutes, we have to be consistent, not concede goals. And then we saw like when we don't concede goal in the first half, we always win. So that's something we need to take.
Thank you, Diadié. That's safe travels.